Welcome to Vidya's Kitchen and thank you for joining us today. I'm terribly sorry about the technical hitches. We've unfortunately been unable to go live because of Facebook and our stream key not working. However, Lakshmi is ready and with us and very kindly agreed to have the show recorded today, and I'm going to post the recording out to you as soon as I can. We have with us Lakshmi Kulkarni, a very keen and enthusiastic home chef. Lakshmi is a chartered accountant by profession, but with a great passion for food and cooking. She wanted to go into catering and would go every week to the catering college in Worli, Mumbai to figure out how to crack the entrance exams. However, her mum, who was also an amazing cook herself, dissuaded Lakshmi from becoming a caterer as it wasn't seen as an acceptable career choice for a lady. Well, she's a chartered accountant, but she's also a great cook now, so that's great. Lakshmi describes food as an essential part of her life, as she loves entertaining and can usually figure out a recipe after she's tasted it once, and ends up creating her own versions of every recipe. Most of them also come with quick, easy hacks. Lakshmi enjoys going to Michelin star restaurants, and a lot of the time she recreates the same dishes at home. Her children and her husband are her greatest food critics and push her to keep trying something new all the time. She now runs a tutoring academy, which has 2 branches already, and she's looking to open more branches. She also has her hands in a few other startups helping the green revolution. And on a personal note, I've known Lakshmi for almost 20 years, and that's a long time. And she's perhaps one of the first friends I made in the UK. I've also enjoyed her cooking on many, many occasions. Without much ado, I'm going to hand over to Lakshmi now. Hello, and thanks for visiting Vidya's Kitchen today. I'm terribly sorry for all the technical hitches, and thank you for being so patient. And what are you going to make for us today, Lakshmi?
Hi, Vidya, and hi, everyone. Sorry, obviously, it's been delayed and it can't be live to all the friends who were waiting to watch. So, what I'm going to do is 3 very different dishes. These are sort of favorites with my family. They are not traditional at all. So, I'm going to make a Mexican dish, which is a loaded nachos. It's not the typical loaded nachos that you get in the restaurants. It's a mix of everything. So, you've got the veggies, the protein, everything in this one meal. I'm then going to make paneer bombs. Again, that's a pretty straightforward, easy dish. And an apple crumble with a slight different twist of how you make the crumble. So these are the 3 different dishes that I'll be doing. So what I'll do is I'll start off with a couple of things that need to be made so that it has to go in the oven when slightly cooked. It has to cool down. So I'll start off with making the apple crumble, the apple. So I've taken one big green Bramley apple and I've just cut them into cubes. I'm going to add some brown sugar. If I had this bowl full of apple, so half of that of brown sugar. I'm just going to cook that down till the apples go a bit soft. That's it. The apple will let out some juices, its own liquid. So you don't need to add any liquid to it. And just let that cook. It will take about a few minutes.
So that will let out its juices as it goes.
It will, yeah. What I'm also going to do then on the other side is I will make the stuffing for the paneer bombs because I need that to cool before I stuff them in. So in a wok here, I'm just going to put a couple of spoons of oil. I tend to use, either sunflower or light olive oil for cooking. And to that, I'm going to now fry some onions in. So let that cook the onions. Now for this paneer stuffing, what you normally need is some crumbled paneer. You know, either you make homemade paneer and, you know, when you, before you set it, you can just use that. It's very much similar to a paneer bhurji. I like to use a brand called Apetina, which you normally get in Sainsbury's, and it's quite soft, crumbles very easily. So this is about 200 grams of paneer. You then need about 2 small boiled and mashed potato. Again, I am quite, you know, I tend to use a lot of easy hacks. When you want a quick mashed potato, I tend to use mashed. All you take is take as much as mashed powder that you want, add hot water, and your mash is ready in an instant. Rather than trying and boiling potato, especially when you cook something with that sort of mash, you can't make out the difference at all. It doesn't even have salt, so it's quite good. I mean, easy, quick way of doing that.
And it's just potato powder. There's no other.
Literally dried potato powder.
Dried potato. There's no other additives to it.
No, there's nothing else to it. So now to this onions, which are now fried and gone slightly soft, I'm going to add some chopped green pepper or capsicum, as they call it in India, and a bit of green chilies. Obviously, this depends on how much spice you can take. You can add as much as you want, and let that cook. Adding a bit of turmeric. You can see here, the liquid has come out of the apple and obviously also from the sugar which is melted. And that's now cooking well.
Do you add any cinnamon to that? No.
I will add a bit of cinnamon powder. Just let the apples cook a bit more and then I will.
And then you'll add it. Okay.
So here we are now adding the cinnamon powder. A couple of pinches, that's it. I had some fresh cinnamon that we had got from Sri Lanka last year. And so just ground that with a bit of sugar, mix into fresh cinnamon powder.
Okay. And who's your inspiration for cooking then?
So my mom was an amazing cook. She would try new recipes all the time. She loved entertaining. So she, I think it started with that. Not that I helped her much in the kitchen in my younger days, but, you probably sort of, growing up, you notice what your parents do and you try and imbibe it later on. So I think she was my biggest inspiration.
Excellent. I think for all of us, our parents are our biggest inspiration. I think.
Now to this wok, I'm going to add the crumbled paneer.
Okay.
And then just give it a mix so that it all combines well together.
When you said paneer bombs, I thought they'll be quite hot, spicy.
You can make them as spicy as you want. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think my kids can tolerate the level of spice that I do. So,
yeah.
And then I'm adding a bit of the mashed potato. So equivalent of effectively 2 small potatoes is what you need.
Uh-huh. And how much of that mashed powder would equate to 2 potatoes then?
I think about 50 to 60 grams of that powder is good enough.
Ah, okay.
And if you see now, these apples have cooked.
Excellent. That hardly took any time, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. So you take that off the gas, you switch off the gas on there.
Yeah.
To this, you just add a bit of coriander and salt, to whatever salt you can take.
Perfect.
Then you just give it a good mix. Once it's mixed well, again you switch this off and let it cool. Obviously, to make the paneer bombs, you have to put it in sort of puff pastry. This needs to cool. If the minute you put it hot, the puff pastry will split.
Yeah. Okay.
So now I'll put the apple crumble. It's ready. So I'm going to take a tray that I'm going to bake my crumble in and layer my cooked apple in it. Obviously, you can mix whatever you want. If you wanted, generally it goes well with raisins, blackberries. You could have cooked blackberry with the apples. I didn't seem to find this time any blackberries, so it didn't happen. But yeah, I guess people put even cherries. You can put Morello cherries. Don't put the liquid. There may be a lot of caramelized liquid left. Don't put the liquid in. You can just put it later on. You can add it on top once it's cooked. Now, normally the crumble on top is made with plain flour and butter and sugar. And you have to, it's quite a time-consuming process. It takes a lot of time to make it and also to bake it. But this is an easy, quick hack. All you need is 2 slices for this amount of crumble that you made, which is 1 big apple. I've taken 2 slices of brown bread, made them into cubes. Just about 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoon again of soft brown sugar. And about less than 50 grams of soft butter. You literally put all this in a mixer and pulse it to make sort of, light breadcrumbs type texture. This is the texture that you would get at the end of it. Once you've pulsed it. Again, don't go full on the mixie and make it too soft. You literally need to only
want some crumbly texture.
Yeah, crumble texture. And you just layer that on the top. Now, because the bread is cooked, because the apples are cooked, this won't take any time at all. In less than 10 minutes in the oven, it gets done. Whereas a normal apple crumble takes you about an hour because you have to cook the plain flour or the maida that is on the top.
And also brown bread is a better
Exactly.
alternative.
Yeah, and if you made bread at home, even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all you do is now put this in the oven at about 220 degrees. Or if you have with a grill option, then you put it with the grill option so that all you need is for it to brown at the top. So I'm going to go on my grill option.
Yeah, do you want to show the oven? Yeah. And how long do you put it inside for?
I'm just going to put it in for about 10 minutes. And that will get done. So what we'll now do is we'll do the paneer bombs, make them because they need to go in the oven. So what you need is a ready rolled puff pastry. I normally buy the ones that you get in the supermarket. So it's a pretty straightforward thing. So it's already rolled out. So all you're doing, you bring it to room temperature. So you take it out of the fridge a couple of, about half an hour before you need to use it. And then roll it out like this. All you're doing is literally cutting it into squares. Then you take the paneer mixture, and then you need a muffin or a cupcake tray which is greased.
Okay.
So all you're doing is literally filling it in and rolling it across. That's it. It's that simple. I mean, these are, dishes that even the kids can learn to make, something easy that, doesn't really require too much of time. It's a good way to get them into cooking and helping in the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
And just a different choice instead of always making the usual, the roti and the sabji and, the usual cooking that we end up doing.
Yeah, paneer bombs, and then you can probably add whatever people can make spring rolls from the same technique.
Exactly. And obviously, you could add any vegetable that you wanted, or, even if people used something like soya mince or anything like that.
Yeah, tofu or...
Yeah.
If they want to go vegan, they can use tofu instead.
Yeah, and the thing is, you get even these puff pastry rolls, you get vegan options.
Yeah.
So, you can use those.
This has butter in it, or...
Yeah, this will have butter in it.
Excellent.
So all you do is you're literally making them into balls.
And how long do they need to cook in the...
They cook in about 15 odd minutes.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's a kind of a starter, isn't it?
It is, or, sometimes mid-afternoon snack when kids are home, especially in these holidays, constantly hungry. And so you don't have to even make it with this paneer. You can even use whatever leftover vegetables, as long as it's a dry vegetable.
Yeah.
You can use that.
It's cooled down before you...
Yeah. So that, you cool it down. And then you can, if you eat eggs, you can use an egg wash. I'm using milk here. And I'm just giving it a good wash so that, it gets the golden look.
Texture. Yeah.
This is just normal milk. If you are again vegan, you can use any of the vegan milks. They work perfectly well. And all you do then is on the top, you put some kalonji seeds, nigella seeds. It's just to give the flavor and the look as well. I'm sticking this again in the oven now. Same, it's at 220. So this will go in for another 20. But in the meantime, the sambar will finish before that. So we can take that up.
Perfect. So that's 2 oven-based. I mean, there's not a lot of cooking that we do in the Indian diaspora that's oven-based, isn't it? Most of it's hob-based. So that's a good idea for people to...
Yeah. And, especially when you are trying to do a lot of different things, sometimes it's good when you're able to use the oven as well. Then, you've cleared up that much more space in your gas area to do
quite a few things cooking in the oven at the same time.
Exactly.
It's great.
Now we'll start with my third thing, which is nachos.
Yeah.
Now this is a very interesting one where, normally if you go to a restaurant and you ask for nachos, you only get the nachos with some cheese, a bit of jalapenos and some salsa and black
and sour cream.
Yeah, nothing, more. But my loaded nachos are slightly different, where you get absolutely everything. So I've taken a wok and put some oil in it. Now I'm going to add all these veggies in it and cook.
Wow, look at that.
So this is chopped courgettes. Now I cut a courgette and then I peel it every alternate part. So it's half green, half white, half green, half white, just so that it looks different. And then colored peppers. So I've got green, red, yellow, and orange. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all in the pan and let it cook. So you just have to cook it till it's soft.
Okay. I mean, we are always under a lot of pressure to pump up the veggies.
Exactly. And this is a great way. I mean, my kids just love this, as in anytime if there is a go-to option, especially, we tend to do a nice heavy meal sometimes on a Sunday lunchtime. So Sunday evening is something that they don't want to eat necessarily something too heavy, but they're obviously still hungry to eat a meal, a dinner. And so then we end up doing this.
as a mom
Yeah.
to be feeding that, which at least it's got veggies in it and colored veggies as well.
Yeah. So that's all. You just let that cook. In the meantime, what we'll do is we'll make the salsa and the guac that has to go, the guacamole that goes with it. So the salsa is pretty simple. I've got some chopped tomatoes in here. I'm going to take, this is the equivalent of 2 chopped tomatoes here. And some red onions. Again, finely chopped red onions. So you're adding a bit of salt. And you just mix that in. And then you squeeze a green lime. Mexican food really comes alive with a lot of lime. So you do that. And you add coriander. Again, coriander in abundance is used in the cooking. So you can add tomato sauce to your salsa when you make a normal salsa. I'm not adding that to this because I don't want it too watery. You'll see why. Because of how I present it and how we eat it, because it gets layered one on top of the other. So I don't want too much juices going in. So now make the black. Take 2 really good ripe avocados and you pour it all through. Once you've done that, twist it around. You have the avocado. Scoop it out. Give it a good mash. Do the same with the other one.
Great. And this also is going to go into the nachos.
Yeah.
I take it.
As you can see, it's quite a healthy dish because you've got a lot of veggies and your salads in it.
And of course, the avocado itself is quite a rich source of fatty acids, isn't it? But it's a good source, so it's okay.
Yeah. The veggies are cooking quite well. You add some salt. And then 1 chopped tomato you add to it.
Your oven, I think, is done, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the... You can see that's the crumble that's done. It took about 10 minutes. Nice brown layered.
Wow, that looks very nice.
Yeah, and that's your crumble ready. So I'm going to keep that out there so that the paneer bombs now cook for the next 10 odd minutes. Going back to the guac. I have 1 pod of garlic that I have grated. I'm going to add that to it. And about a 1/4 of an inch of ginger, again grated. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm going to squeeze a lime, a green lime. You just have to get this all together. That's it.
Okay. That's your guacamole.
Yeah. And some people do add onion to it. I'm not adding only because I already have my onions in the salsa.
Yeah, you've added garlic to this for the flavor.
Yeah. So the ginger and the garlic have gone into this. Then you just, again, coriander. You would measure. And that's that done. Now, one of the other layers of this loaded nachos is these. So what I use is these. This is the refried beans. You get this in any supermarket.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
It has never ever happened.
Today's the first. Lots of things are happening.
I know.
It's okay.
So as you can see, this is how the beans look, and it's quite thick. They're basically the beans which have been cooked and mashed up. So all you need to do is you take it in a saucepan, you take it out. You add a tiny bit of water to it.
Yeah.
And you bring it to a boil. You don't have to add anything else to it. It has a tiny bit of salt already, but it isn't spicy at all. Literally just cooked peas. And you just bring it to sort of,
Semi-solid.
So yeah.
State.
And the minute it heats up, it will obviously loosen and become slightly more thinner. The veggies are almost cooked. Now I'm going to start plating up how these nachos go. So you take a plate and you just take any normal simple tortilla chips. I go for literally the basic ones. I don't go with the ones with flavor or salt.
Yes,
or
salted. Not even salted.
Yeah, it's literally because we've got all that already added to all our things to the food. So you take it and you slightly crush them. Don't crush them too much. So that I would put for, a thing. If you're having this as a dinner and that probably will be maybe a one portion.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch the veggies off. I don't want it to lose its slight crunch. So I've switched the gas off from under the veggies. The beans they're just coming to a boil.
So they have to come to a boil, I take it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, everything is eaten quite hot in this. It's a mix of a hot and cold dish. Okay. So it's quite an interesting mix of flavors.
Kind of a different type of a loaded nachos.
Yeah, it is. So I've got grated cheese. This is just
a different name. It should be called Lakshmi nachos or something.
So this is just grated cheese. I've used normal cheddar cheese. Again, you put as much cheese as you enjoy. Yeah, I mean, my kids can go mad with cheese sometimes. And I'm putting it in the microwave for about 30 seconds so that the cheese melts. You don't need it to go brown, anything of that sort. Just a slight melt.
Okay.
You can see that the cheese is now melted nicely on top of the.
Very nice.
What you now do is literally, it is like, say if it was, I would call it almost like a bhel. You're literally now assembling things. So you then now go, see how it has bubbled and it is this texture. I've added a bit of water to the beans and it's not too thin. You don't want it too runny as you won't be able to eat it. And that's your first layer on top of the cheesy nachos.
Perfect.
So that's your protein in the meal. You then add your veggies on top. Now, you can also at this point decide that you want to add some salad. So I've got some grated carrot and some red cabbage finely chopped. You can add that. Again, different colors. This is something, give kids something so colorful, it will disappear in a minute. You try serving them any other veggies, it will take forever. And then you put this salsa again on top. Now this actually makes it feel, when you eat this, it actually feels like you're eating bhel.
Yes. With all the coriander and
and the lime and everything.
Lime and everything, yeah.
That you take and you put on the side.
And you've got your
and
sour
then
cream.
Literally plain sour cream, shop bought.
Yeah.
I am a person who believes that you do not recreate the wheel when there are easy options out there. Women, we beat ourselves trying to be perfect, but when there are easy hacks, why not
utilize?
Yeah. And then you just squeeze a tiny bit of lime again on the top. Yeah. And that's it. That's your loaded and nachos
that looks
dish ready.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Your first one. I'll show you how the crumble looks now. Now that's the apple crumble. As you can see, the apple is nicely cooked in.
I can almost smell it. The aroma is coming through.
So this hack was taught by our very dear friend who lives down the road from us, Mrs. Korde, the one for the crumble, because she was the one who came up with this thing of using bread instead. And I thought, why slave over doing? And this tastes so much better than, the normal.
Yeah, and it's healthier as well.
Made with health. Yeah, it's so much tastier.
Rather than
and you can serve it with
custard,
custard, cream, ice cream, whatever you tend to fancy. Obviously, we're all custard fans in this house, so we go with custard. So yeah, that's your
dish number 2.
Yeah, that's the apple crumble with custard ready.
The dessert's ready, the starter's ready. Well, that could be the starter. The starter's probably the
could be mostly, the main. Yeah. And the paneer bombs. So I made a couple of paneer bombs earlier. That's going to take a few more minutes.
Oh,
but this is how
really lovely.
Yeah, these are how they come out of the oven.
Yeah, evenly made.
Yeah, and that's what they look like. Let me cut one open and show you. And you serve it with whatever. Again, this can also be a light lunch. You serve it with a side salad, and that can work as well. See, we've got the stuffing in there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And you can have it with, whatever sauce, ketchup. Obviously, we are again Sriracha fans in this family. So, a lot of Sriracha sauce. But yeah, serve it with a bit of a rocket salad on the side, and it can be a light lunch as well. So there you go. These are the 3 dishes.
And this is also not deep fried or anything. It's
no, nothing at all. Obviously, there is the butter in the puff pastry.
But that also, like you say, you could get a vegan version.
You could get a vegan version. Yeah, I'm not sure that is less fat though, because I'm sure they use, margarine.
Sometimes you have to enjoy things as they are, isn't it?
Exactly. It's okay, once in a while to do this.
Yeah.
So we're not eating it every day. Yeah. So quick recap. So we started off with paneer bomb stuffing. So you need in a wok, you add with the oil, you add onions, some crumbled.
Yeah. Your face is, yes.
Some green chilies and green pepper chopped in the hot oil. Cook that down to a little soft. Add a bit of turmeric, and you then add mashed potato and crumbled paneer to it, salt to taste, coriander, and you mix everything well so that it all forms like a soft mixture. Let that cool. It will take it may take an hour or so to cool. And then you take puff pastry, which is ready rolled puff pastry that you get in the supermarkets, and you just roll it out, cut it into small squares. Normally, one roll will give you about 8 squares. You fill the stuffing in 1 tablespoon to every square, approximately. Roll it into bombs. You either egg wash it on top or milk wash. Add a bit of nigella seeds and stick it in the oven at 220 for about 15 minutes. And it will come out like this golden brown. We then did the apple crumble, where we cooked the apple. You take any cooking apple. I took Bramley, which is our locally grown apple. Cut it into small cubes, and you cook that with brown sugar. Now, quantity wise, you take 1 cup of cut apple to half a cup of brown sugar. Cook that down, add a bit of cinnamon powder. If you fancy nutmeg, you can do that as well. And cook that down till soft. Then for the crumble, you use 2 slices of brown bread, about 50 grams of soft unsalted butter, and about 1.5 tables of brown sugar. You blitz it in your mixer, pulse it actually, bring it into sort of a breadcrumb type texture. And then you just layer it in your baking tray. First the apples, the bread mixture on top, and you bake it. Actually, you grill it for about 10 minutes. My grill setting was around 220 degrees along with the grill on. And that's your pudding ready. We then have loaded nachos where you end up cooking mixed veggies. So you can have courgettes and mixed peppers in this. I had 4 different colored peppers. If you fancy actually mushrooms, you can add that as well in that. You do that. You also get refried beans in the shops. I just opened a can of that, added a bit of water and bring it to sort of, a semi-liquid texture. You get tortilla chips and you layer the tortilla chips, put some cheese on it, melt it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And then you start layering things. In the meantime, you can make a salsa. A tomato salsa is pretty simple. It's just onions, red onions, tomatoes, lime juice, salt, and coriander. For the guac, I use soft, ripe avocados, 2 of them, 1 clove garlic, and a little bit of ginger, just sort of, to that quarter-inch garlic, both of them grated in. Mix it with the avocados, salt, lime juice, and coriander. So that's that ready. So then you just layer everything. Once you've melted the cheese in the nachos in the microwave, take it out. You put the refried beans on top. Then you put the veggies. If you want to add salad, you can. I've added a bit of carrots and red cabbage in it. People add iceberg lettuce as well, I've seen. And then you put your salsa on top. Then you serve it with guac on the side. And then sour cream. And that's your loaded nachos ready.
Excellent. Perfect.
So these are the 3 dishes. So yeah, I hope you can all try it. And they're very simple. And,
yes, I will certainly try all of them actually. Yeah. But today I've got the paneer and I've got the pastry, so I'll try it today itself. And I'll send you the pictures. And I've got apples as well, cooking apples. So I'll try that.
Yeah, you do, because you've got loads of trees as well, isn't it? You probably save. I mean, that's the thing with this thing. You can even make them, freeze it, and take it out at any point in time in your year. And
I make this. I make the apple and the brown sugar thing, and I freeze it, and then I take it out. But I always use the plain flour. I think your hack using the brown. I was most impressed with that. Yeah, I will. Definitely.
I mean, the thing is, it's really quick. So, when you want a quick pudding, it doesn't take that long.
Absolutely.
And it can impress thinking, everybody thinks, a crumble is going to take hours to make.
Correct. Or we go buy it in Costco, buy the big one.
Agreed, but it's never the same.
And serve it, which I think this would be great. And also it's healthier too. I think that's what attracts.
You control the amount of sugar that goes in when you cook it, in that sense.
Yeah, sugar is there, but the brown bread and the thing rather than the plain flour, I think that impressed me most. To have brown bread in there, that's such a good option to have, alternate option. So that's great. And the tortilla chips as well. That's brilliant. That's so everything is so mouth-watering, Lakshmi. And thank you so much. And so quick, so easy, and such easy recipes. We'll also post it on the page tomorrow, the recipe. And if you
Yeah,
take a picture of all three as well, that will
will
be
do.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
thank you very much. And once again, thank you for being so patient.
No
And
problem at
thanks for
all.
coming,
Yeah.
Vidya.
Yeah.
And thanks to the
And
camera person.
thanks,
It was a
thanks for
pleasure.
the opportunity to be part of Vidya's Kitchen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks to the camera person as well. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.